Okay. My name is Zulaikha Farooqi. I'm the daughter of Munir Farooqi.
My name is Farooqi and I'm the son of Munir Farooqi.
Our father, he's been very active in the Manchester community for over 10 years. Post 9/11, there was a lot of hostility and misconceptions about Islam and against Muslims in the Manchester community. So in order to try and bring a change to this, my father, he took the initiative to hold Islamic literature dawah stalls, where he distributed free literature, DVDs and booklets about Islam to non-Muslims. They proved to be very successful because a lot of people, mainly non-Muslims, would come up to him and explain how they didn't really know so much about Islam and other than what they had learnt from the media. So they were very, very beneficial, and he would have a lot of communication and conversations with non-Muslims from the stalls, and my father, he's very well known in the community through his stalls. So and he's known for his kind-heartedness, as well as this passion to build bridges within communities. So instead of standing in the streets for hours on end having discussions, my father would invite people to the house and to our home and say, come to our home, welcome, and you can eat and drink, and we'll talk over a coffee or dinner. This wasn't something unusual. It was very usual and common practice within our home. It was literally like a community centre, our house, people coming in and out of all faiths, nationalities, not just non-Muslims, but a lot of new Muslims as well. Because my father noticed through the stalls that there was a lot of people who had actually embraced Islam, but there was they didn't have a form of support from the Muslim community. So what had happened is that they had embraced Islam, but then there was a huge bridge that was missing from that moment till being accepted within the Muslim community. So they went through a lot of difficulty where they felt abandoned or out of place, and a lot of them were actually they're actually disowned from their own families and community because they had embraced a whole new faith and changed their lifestyle. And then on the other hand, they felt neglected because they felt that there wasn't that sense of belonging within the Muslim community, who weren't really doing much to support them and to embrace them within our community. So my father noticed this, and he not only had a passion to get rid of these stereotypes against Islam, but also be a form of support for these people, for these new Muslims out there. So again, he would invite such people to the house as well and say, I am your family, we are your family. And this is a very basic concept within Islam, where we are known to be one big family, an ummah. And there is a saying of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that when one part is in pain, the whole body feels it. It shouldn't be that it's just the same way is with the Muslim community itself. When one person is pained, then we must all feel that pain. So this was very, very common, and my father was known for his hospitality, for his love for his work, and for being a great man, basically. And this is the reason why I'm sat here today, because I know that my father is an innocent and a loving person, and there has been a huge miscarriage of justice against him. And if he was guilty, or if he was a terrorist, as he's portrayed to be today, I would never be sat here. I would be the first person to say that this man is dangerous and the allegations against him are actually true and all the rest of it. But because there has been a huge miscarriage of justice, I'm sat here today in defense of my father to explain exactly what actually happened. What actually happened is when I returned from my studying in beginning of September, I got married towards the end of September the 26th, and it was only a few weeks I managed to spend at home with my family when our home was barged, when our door was barged in, and there was about 40 to 50 men, fully masked, huge built men, 3 o'clock in the morning, who came and literally destroyed our life. It was a raid. I was in my room and I couldn't understand, what was going on. I thought I had just woken up, and I thought maybe, it's hooligans, maybe it's thugs who have just broken into our home. And the first thing that came through my mind was that this is it, I'm going to get killed or I'm going to get raped. It's the first moment, the first thought that came into my mind when I heard them barging up the stairs and, making so much noise, screaming, shouting, even laughing, and their huge boots thumping all the way up the stairs. But the moment I saw these two big built men come into my room, that's when I thought, and I felt a sense of relief. I thought maybe, I'm not going to get killed, it's just a raid. But that experience was so traumatic, it affects me till this day. And instantly, they started shouting at me, get out of bed, or, ordering me about, and I did that. But the moment, I just thought to myself, and I said to them straight away, I said, because obviously Muslims and Islam have been in the media all this time, and we always hear the link of Muslims being extremists and terrorists, etc. And I just experienced this raid, and I told them straight away, I said, you barge into my home like this. I said, you terrorize us as a family, and then you call us Muslims a terrorist. I said, what you have done right now is terrorism. You are the real terrorist. And that was a moment, the peace in our home, the love we shared, and the peace and the unity in our family, in our home, in a happy-filled life where, I just got married and there's so much happiness. It was destroyed from that very moment. It was actually It was at that moment that the woman who came to search me, even she was looking around because she saw, this house filled with decorations and gifts, and she looked confused, and she asked me. She said, "What is the occasion?" And I told her that I just got married, and the look on her face, I remember it till this day. It was full of guilt. So even these people themselves, they're confused. They don't know, that they are living oppression and they're oppressing people. And they're terrorizing innocent families. My sister, she was 5 years old at the time. What crime has she committed? She had to go through this experience as well, this traumatic experience, which affects her till this day. Again, when she would go to school, her teacher once asked her and the children in the school, tell me one thing that you would love the most. What you would love to happen in your life, and the children would say, like sweets or chocolates or ice creams, and they came out with stuff which 5-year-olds would come out with. And my sister, she said, I would love it if my father came to pick me up from school. The effects that this raid and these arrests have is detrimental. It destroys not only families, but not only individuals, but families and communities at large. So just to explain, the context in which why a raid took place in the first place and what it is that happened, I'll pass it over to Haris, my brother, because he was actually involved within the case itself, and he was caught up in this whole miscarriage of justice.